Hello, Cherie Hanson here on a sunny day. My gauge for heat on the back deck is up to 30 degrees. It's like we've been minus 30 and now it's 30. It's quite the spectrum we're being asked to live through. Today I have been spending the morning listening to teachers, taking online tests. How emotionally intelligent are you? And also sharing things I'm learning with other people who are on the path of consciousness and developing greater comfort with being alive and being on the earth. And a couple of things really popped up for me. The one that hit me really strongly, like a lightning, was how comforting our fears are. And I really sat and thought about that a lot. This is what is so interesting, is that my fears and my anxieties are like a jar I pour my spirit into. It's a shape. It's something that defines me. It's comforting because I know that that way lies death. That way lies becoming a jealous, competitive, nasty person. And so what we do is we consciously mummify ourselves. I don't mean that you take your brains out through your nose or anything like that. I mean, we wrap ourselves around with a holding cloth of our fear. It's very, very reassuring because now we're in a world that is so defined. We know which things we don't want to do. We know what things we're afraid of, and we can adjust for that. And then that gives us feedback. It's great feedback. Oh, I'm doing such a good job. And when I took the test for emotional intelligence today, I was doing really well, except in the area of compassion. And I was thinking to myself, why is that? And then I came to the point where I understood that this is my leftover childhood wounding. I don't like going into groups. And I don't like to be in a place where my massive ability to empathize and feel people's energy is being triggered. It's a self-protective way of being in the world. And I'm looking at this and going, I sit every day meditating, I study, I take care of myself, but these shadow places are still there. The shadow of being hyper alert around other people. It doesn't always happen. It actually happens, interestingly enough, when I think about being with other people. I'm fine once I go out the door and I walk through the mall and I see these people and I just feel connection and love and, like, woo, have these conversations and exchange happy experiences with them. I'm very open then. But when I am really struggling with it is before I go out the door. So I will sign up for a group, and then the reminder will pop up, and I'm sitting here going, I don't know. Maybe I'll just stay home. And so I can see very clearly today how having the samurai armor on, the mummy wrap of Lenin around and around, the concepts of what to fear and what will hurt us has stopped my growth. It stopped me. I've gotten to a place where now I need to deal with that issue. And this is the wonderfulness about this whole journey. It's like, yes, I have done this and I've done that and I've been able to blah, 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 but it's always something else. The shadow work is like an underground city. It's just what? What is that? So I really went into that. I really thought about that a lot. The question is, if this overly protective way of being in the world is a leftover wound, or is it an intuitive process? In other words, am I receiving an intuitive message right now that this is not a good action to take? And I guess what I'm really starting to understand is we have to explore. When we hit a boundary, we have to be curious. We have to ask the questions. And so sitting with my reluctance to go out or to be with a group or to join something means each time it will be a different situation. How is it feeling? How is it feeling? How is it feeling? And where does that come from? I was really interested in studying with a teacher this morning who talked about how you get served a plate. So we're going to ingest something. We're going to take it into our bodies. And here's this plate you're given by your ancestors and by your society and by markers like how old are you, or what sex are you, or what color are you. Okay, just a second. Here you go. Here's a potato. Here's something. Here's something. Here's something. And then you get this plate and you take it in. You go, oh, I'm supposed to eat this. I'm supposed to believe this. I am supposed to install this in my identity, in my body. And we are really finding that old way of accepting belief systems and justification for our choices just isn't working anymore. The ancestors, the people who came before me, the trauma that is passed down through the generations, the constrictions of our social paradigm don't work anymore. So where are we now? And I call it the place of wonderful growth. I am floating in deep space. I don't know which way is up. I don't know how I'm making these decisions. I feel so lost. And what all of my teachers will say is, good, now you're growing. What that lost feeling does for us is it gives us more depth as a person. There's more inside of us when we can embrace letting go of resistance and just free floating for a while. If I look back at all the stages of my growth, I've always had the same feeling. I've always had the same confusion, a sense of loss. I don't know. But one thing I do know as I look back is every single time I've hit that barrier, I've come out of it. a more complete human being, a wiser human being, and a calmer human being. So we're being called upon right now to let go of the norms, the paradigms, the way it used to be. We're being asked to surrender to the changes that are coming in. I mean, I'm so resistant. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I want to try and use that new app. It's too confusing. You know, we have to get into a place like, you think you're confused now? Just wait for another year, baby. You won't even be able to find your head. I mean, you can feel your way up your neck, but your head won't be there. So now is the time. If we want to be upgraded, if we want to become more peaceful and more loving and more compassionate and trust ourselves more, just trust ourselves. Yeah, you've gotten lost a lot of times, but you have always found your way out. How did you find your way out? Not from what somebody else is telling you, not from a voice coming in from outside, but from listening to your own heart and your own spirit. It's a great flashlight. What does my heart want? Just loosen up, float free, and you don't need to be afraid because we've all gotten here so far, haven't we? I think so. So as today was a time to contemplate and to look at my own limitations and how my own childhood wounding is making me unnecessarily careful about other people. And what does that cost me? That costs me experiences. That costs me opportunities. That joyous sense of, I don't care what happens because I can handle it. And I know Spirit is guiding me to become a more secure person in how I live my life. Thank you so much. I'm really appreciating the subscribers, the likes, the comments. Oh my God, the comments are wonderful. Get a hold of me if you would like a psychic reading, a channeled reading. We can draw up a contract between your now self and your future self and how you want to get there, what steps you want to take. And the way I do that is I tune into your guides and I hear what your guides are saying and I can translate that for you. So do get a hold of me. I don't need to be anywhere near you to be able to read you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.